Well, I've lived up in the forest now for 40 years, and raking the leaves has just kind of got old at my age, 66 years old. So I started looking for a leaf vacuum and found this one made by DR. And my father and I bought this one together. I think it's called the DR Pro model. There's a Pro XL, I think, that has just a little bit bigger vacuum, or a little bit bigger motor on it, I'm sorry. We've got this one connected up to a John Deere D140 lawn tractor. It's got, I think it's a 48-inch deck on it. Got 3 blades on it, and the suction discharge on it right here. It's mounted on the tractor. You can see that this thing will lift up, but it picks up all the leaves that come out of there and runs them through an 8-inch hose back to an impeller that kind of grinds them up further and then shoots them into this container, and it holds, I can't remember, I think it was 300 and some gallons or something is how they rated it, but anyway, it's a pretty big container, and it shreds the leaves and whatever up pretty well. One thing I'd say, this thing makes a lot of noise, so you're going to want to wear probably some earmuffs or hearing protection of one kind or another. I've got mine right there on the tractor. It's pretty dusty. There'd be a lot of dust that come out of this open area here, right here, where the air will blow through. You might try using it a little bit in the morning when there's some dew on the leaves a little bit, and just see how the machine does with it. One thing I'd say is doing some strategic raking ahead of time. Kind of take a rake and pull the leaves, whatever, out away from the trees bases. Will make it a little bit easier for you. You can see that I've done that over here. I counted it up. I think I've got 23 hardwood trees here, all different species. I've got ash, oak, a couple species of oak. I've got hackberry, black cherry, birch, apple trees over there as well. There's an apple tree there that's still got some apples on it. So anyway, usually it would take me about 2 days to do all my raking. I've already used this thing a couple times, and I can do everything in the yard in about 2 hours of time or less, so it is a tremendous labor saver. I did a little checking online to see how these hold up, and what I learned was this discharge chute right here will sometimes wear out right in this area. This hose will sometimes wear out down in this area. For one thing, it'll drag a little bit on the ground, so I've heard that a John Deere brand hose will be a good upgrade for the hose when it finally does wear out. So we'll just see how this machine does. All right, so I did get electric start on this thing. Makes it easier to start. You gotta have to start it quite a few times. And we got to do a choke up there. yesterday, it was late afternoon in Iowa. It was a sunny, dry day, and I did a little demonstration, and there's quite a bit of dust. It vacuumed pretty well because the leaves are so light and dry. But today, it's early morning here in Iowa. It's about 30, maybe 32 degrees, so right at the freezing point. There's not much dew on these leaves, but just a little bit of moisture. So I thought I'd go ahead and try another demonstration here when it's a little bit more moisture in the leaves. So I took one trip around the edge here, and I thought I'd do this short little video to show you the difference. Up in here, the leaves are quite deep, and you need to raise your moor deck up just a little bit to let all that stuff go underneath the moor deck. But this thing works amazingly well, and I represent DR in no way, shape, or form. I get nothing monetarily out of this review. It's just a good piece of equipment, and wanted to just put something out there so anybody else that was looking for a leaf vac would know that it's a good piece of equipment. So anyway, that's what we've got here. So I'm very pleased with this machine. It's clear full. I'm going to take it down in the timber, and I'll show you how to dump it here in a minute. But this piece of yard typically would take me a day and a half of hard work to rake it all, and at the end of the day I'd be beat. So by doing a little bit of raking down at the base of the trees and a little bit of creative driving, you can do a pretty clean job, really. Clean enough. So we'll take it down on the timber and dump it. To dump this machine, there's a dump lever right here. And you just give it a pull out like that so it releases off of this pin right there. And then just grab it right there and give it a gentle tilt up. There's a restraining cable right here that's connected. And that keeps the box from dumping all the way over. The chute will just kind of automatically disconnect. It's kind of on a bungee cord right there. So I'll put the camera on a tripod and kind of show you the full dumping operation. There's a handle at the back there. Once it's partially dumped and the restraining cable is tight, you grab that handle right there and lift it up, and then just drive it away. So pull the dump lever, raise it up, the cable's tight right there, come around to the back, raise the handle. Sometimes I'll shake the stuff out of that too. Start it up and drive it away. So that's how it dumps. I'm really happy with this piece of equipment. One thing I would say though, after using it in both dry conditions and with just a little bit of dew on the grass, a little bit of frost, it works better if there's just a little bit of moisture in the leaves. And it's way less dusty for the operator to put up with too.